Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janaballabha Giridharadhari Gopi Janaballabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janaballabha Giridharadhari Jai Gopi Janaballabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Vishnu Pabam Sabharajikataya Stotirjata Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pabam Sabharajikataya Stotirjata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Go Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 20, Text 18. Sasarja Chayayad Vidyam Panchaparvanam Agrataha Tamishram Andatamisram Tamomoho Mahatamaha Sasarja Chayaya Vidyam Panchaparvanam Agrata Tamishram Andatamisram Tamomoho Mahatamaha Sasarja Chayaya Vidyam Panchaparvanam Agrataha Tamishram Andatamisram Tamomoho Mahatamaha. Vaishnavis, Sasarja, created, Chayaya, with his shadow, Avidyam, ignorance, Panchaparvanam, 5 varieties, Agrata, first of all, Tamishram, Tamishra, Andatamishram, Andatamishra, Tama-tamas, Moha-moha, Mahatama, Mahatamas, or Maha-moha. Translation. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamisra, Anta-tamisra, Tamas, Moha, and Maha-moha. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The conditioned souls, or living entities who come to the material world to enjoy sense gratification, are covered in the beginning by 5 different conditions. The first condition is a covering of Tamisra, or anger. Constitutionally, each and every living entity has minute independence. It is misuse of that minute independence for the conditioned soul to think that he can also enjoy like the Supreme Lord, or to think, why shall I not be a free enjoyer like the Supreme Lord? This forgetfulness of his constitutional position is due to anger or envy. The living entity, being eternally a part and parcel servitor of the Supreme Lord, can never, by constitution, be an equal enjoyer with the Lord. When he forgets this, however, and tries to become one with him, his condition is called Tamisra. Even in the field of spiritual realization, this Tamisra mentality of the living entity is hard to overcome. In trying to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme. Even in their transcendental activities, this lower grade mentality of Tamisra continues. Anda-Tamisra involves considering death to be the ultimate end. The atheists generally think that the body is the self, and that everything is therefore ended with the end of the body. Thus, they want to enjoy material life as far as possible during the existence of the body. Their theory is, as long as you live, you should live prosperously. Never mind whether you commit all kinds of so-called sins. You must eat sumptuously, beg, borrow, and steal. And if you think that by stealing and borrowing you are being entangled in sinful activities for which you'll have to pay, then just forget that misconception, because after death, everything is finished. No one is responsible for anything he does during his life. This atheistic conception of life is killing human civilization, for it is without knowledge of the continuation of eternal life. This Anda-Tamisra ignorance is due to tamas. The condition of not knowing anything about the spirit soul is called tamas. This material world is also generally called tamas because 99% of its living entities are ignorant of their identity as soul. Almost everyone is thinking he is the body. He has no information of the spirit soul. Guided by this misconception, one always thinks, this is my body, and anything in relation with this body is mine. For such misguided living entities, sex life is the background of material existence. Actually, the conditioned souls, in ignorance in this material world, are simply guided by sex life. And as soon as they get the opportunity for sex life, they become attached to so-called home, motherland, children, wealth, and opulence. As these attachments increase, moha, or the illusion of the bodily conception of life, also increases. Thus, the idea that I am this body and everything belonging to this body is mine also increases. And as the whole world is put into moha, sectarian societies, families, and nationalities are created, and they fight with one another. Mahamoha means to be mad after material enjoyment. Especially in this age of Kali, everyone is overwhelmed by the madness to accumulate paraphernalia for material enjoyment. These definitions are very nicely given in Vishnu Purana, where it is said, Tamo viveko mahasyad anta karana vibramaha. Mahamohas tavigyeyo gramya bhoga sukhaishana. Maranam yanda tamishram kota uchate avidya pancha parvaisha pradur bhuta mahatmana. Translation again. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha, and Mahamoha. Om Agana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hearing this purport definitely makes you want to cry out to Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. You get an idea of what we're up against by our own choice. And it's amazing, although we're in such an oppressive, illusory situation, we blame the Supreme Personality of Godhead for it. If you're so merciful, why is the world the way it is? We made that choice to be independent enjoyers, which is actually impossible. So what Prabhupada is always doing is giving you the cosmological perspective of life after life, changing bodies, different destinations, different abodes according to your desire and your qualification. You're getting the whole panorama. And you should be concerned about that. Instead, people divert their concerns about where they're going to tourism. Oh, we'll take a trip to the Gold Coast. What will we find there? What will we do? Where are the best restaurants? Where are the best amusements for the kiddies? So concerned, but when it comes to the next life, there may be a next life, there may not be. But the main point is, have gratificatory experiences right now. So as Prabhupada writes in the purport, this atheistic conception is killing human civilization. There's so much pressure on you to enjoy yourself satisfactorily before old age and death come. You've got to score, not once, but several times. Otherwise, your life is wasted. So all this pressure is put on you since birth. All these misconceptions have been downloaded into your mind through materialistic sound vibration. And due to ignorance, tamas, people know nothing more. Even so-called religious people in the Western sense think we are the body. It's a very hellish situation, but how did it all start? Out of envy. We envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, you look in the mirror and look at yourself, see the body and think, me envious? Come on, I'm a nice person. I may have a few faults, but envy? No. But as Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Ichcha Dvesha Sumuttena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. All living entities are born into this world overcome by the dualities of desire and aversion. We desire to be the supreme enjoyer, and we're averse to follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we got this psychological hang-up. The more you can trace out in yourself this psychological hang-up, the more accurate your self-analysis will be. We've got problems. We've got issues, as they say these days. What is the issue? We want to imitate the Supreme Enjoyer, which is impossible. We cannot be independent primary enjoyers. Well, what are we going to do if we can't be primary enjoyers? What are we supposed to do with life? The pressure is on you so much. You must be an independent enjoyer. It's out there waiting for you. Just reach out as best you can and get it. If you don't get it the first time, try again. So can you feel this pressure on you? It's coming through your body. It's coming through your mind. I've got to. Why? Because I got to. This is our tragedy. We want to imitate the Supreme Enjoyer. And what happens in the material existence? As soon as you want to enjoy, as I often explain, you have to control. You might say, what? We're a controller? No, we're just trying to be happy. We're just trying for a little satisfaction. It's innocent. Innocent attempts for pleasure. How can that be control? But you may notice every time you try for some insignificant contentment and satisfaction, you have to control the situation, at least to some degree. Maybe it's just moving an eyebrow. That's control. Maybe it's flexing a muscle. Maybe it's building your muscles so you have a certain effect. This is all about controlling the situation, massaging the situation, or managing the situation so you get what you want even in the most subtle way. So we're not innocent. We're all guilty. But we think, look, come on, Swami, give us a break, you know? We're just trying to make our way through this world. What's wrong with a little bit of material satisfaction here and there? Just a sprinkling at least. Yeah, maybe sometimes we overdose, but we'll bounce back. But Srila Prabhupada in his purports takes away our cloak of innocence and points out what we're guilty of. What he's explaining makes the Adam and Eve story look quite childish, although it's a metaphor that has deep meaning to it. Nevertheless, reading Bhagavatam gives you the complete understanding. What went wrong? We didn't want to put Krishna out of business. That's impossible, but we wanted to imitate Krishna. So the example often given is that, let's say you're working for somebody at their enterprise, at their business, and you've worked there for some years. After a while, what do you start thinking? Hey, I could do this on my own. I could open up this business on my own and make a good profit. Why am I working for this guy? All right, let this guy go on with his business. I'm going to quit and open up my own shop, my own cafe. That's exactly what we did. We wanted to rival Krishna, or imitate Krishna. Yes, Krishna can go on enjoying There's no doubt about that. But I want to go into business for myself and be an enjoyer. Isn't that fair? Krishna gets his, I get mine. We'll both be primary enjoyers. Or the Mayavad version, which is, if you can't beat him, join him. Let's merge with him. We'll merge into the effulgence of Krishna. We'll merge into the body of Krishna. We're all one. We're all the supreme enjoyer. Isn't that equitable? We're all God. We've just forgotten. So, our original problem is that we're covered. As soon as we desire to imitate Krishna, the facilities for sense gratification are provided. Because you can't, what can you do on your own? We're so tiny that we can't even fulfill our own desires. So as we discussed yesterday, even if you want to forget Krishna, you need Krishna's help. That's how insignificant and tiny we are. And of course, to remember Krishna, we need his help. Perhaps sometimes you've had the experience when your chanting is just not what you want it to be. And you don't know what's going on. Should I chant slower? Should I chant faster? What am I doing wrong? I just feel like I'm just denied access to the holy name. And you wonder, am I chanting the same mantra that Lord Chaitanya and his associates chanted? And you, in desperation, you cry out to Krishna. Oh, Krishna, I'm so helpless. Please let me chant your name. And then you have a breakthrough. But you quickly forget about that begging. We're much too proud to beg constantly. Maybe when we feel the pressure on us, going through some tough situation, then we beg, oh, Krishna, I beg you, please get me through this. But as soon as the tough situation passes, as soon as we get a little taste for chanting Hare Krishna again, okay, I'm on my own. This is our rascaldom. Yesterday at the Krishna Pod, we were discussing how people will do anything except what Krishna offers. We were discussing one very prominent Western philosopher who said something that in ignorance people would think is so deep and so profound. He said, don't try to lead me. Don't try to follow me. Just walk together with me through the chaos. Now, ordinarily, without bhakti, you would think, wow, deep. At your next date at a cafe, you try it out on the person. Hey, this is where I'm at. This is me. Don't try to lead me. Don't try to follow me. Just walk together with me through the chaos on the way back with me to my flat. And people think, this is so profound. In other words, strip away everything except the desire to enjoy. Enjoy your way. I was reading one illustrious materialistic scientist, not that they're all like that, but this one was very flagrant. She said, why should you worry so much about this spot of life? Before birth, there was just infinite nothingness. And after death, there'll be infinite nothingness. So why should you make such a big deal out of your little speck of existence sandwiched by infinite nothingness? What do you think? No, you say, we got to have some kind of significance in life. We've got to find ourselves. We've got to find our goal. Or we've got to find our God, whatever it is. But underneath it all is simply the desire for satisfaction. Give me satisfaction some kind of way. So this purport outlines the 5 coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls, created by Brahma from his shadow. Chayeva Yasha Bhuvanani Bhabarti Durga. Brahma explains in his Govindam prayers, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajaami. He's giving you his personal testimony of what's going on in the cosmos. So we talked yesterday about how we accept the blanket of ignorance about the most basic issues in life, in our human existence, but when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we say, oh, that's so phantasmagorical, it's so, I don't want to say mythological, but anyway, there must be some inspirational purpose in hearing these far-fetched stories. As if we know something, as if we have superior knowledge that we can stand on a pedestal and look down at Bhagavatam and, okay, you're nice, you're very inspirational, but when it comes to real life, I don't know. What do we know? Where do we get our sense of superiority from? And the proof is when it's time for material enjoyment, how desperate we get. Got to control the situation. I got to manage the situation. I want to be happy. You're supposed to make me happy. Why aren't you making me happy? You made me happy for a few moments. What about now? We become pressed to the wall by our desires to imitate Krishna. So does that mean Krishna gets everything and we get nothing? We have that fear. I'm doing all this bhajan. I'm doing all this chanting. I'm doing so much devotional service that I should worry that maybe there's such a thing as too much Krishna. Another point we were discussing yesterday. Have you seen this verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna warns you? Watch out, too much Krishna. There's no such verse. So these 5 coverings created by Brahma are from his shadow. The material energy is the shadow potency. Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bhabarti Durga. Certainly the shadow. So that's why it's so bewildering, because the shadow is related to the substance. So even though the shadow is not the substance, it's related to the substance, and therefore it seems to have some reality. And this is what drives us crazy in material life. It looks like something is there. It looks like you can just reach out and get it, and you'll be satisfied. And each time you're disappointed. But the way the material energy works, it pushes you. Come on, try again. Others are getting it. Why not you? And so what if it's just momentary? That's something, isn't it? Better than nothing. So this is the shadow potency. Chayeva Yasi Bhuvanani Bhabarti Durga. If you're trying to shake someone's hand and you shake the shadow of the hand on the wall, you've missed the point. You'll be very frustrated. And that's exactly what goes on in our attempts to imitate Krishna as the primary enjoyer. We're frustrated. And frustration quickly leads to anger. You all know how that is. When you feel that someone has shortchanged you, they haven't given you all that you expected of them, you get angry. We find here in the purport that the first covering of the 5 is tamishra, anger. In other words, the desire to imitate Krishna, I can enjoy like Krishna, is a form of anger. Envy and anger are very closely related. Why are you the way you are? Why are you getting what you have? What about me? This enviousness is so close to anger. But again, it's hard for us to consider that originally we have an anger or envy problem with Krishna. Because we think, look, I'm just trying to be a little bit happy. Will you get off my case? What do you want me to do? Chant Hare Krishna? We think we're so innocent, right? Look, I don't want much. Many times you may have heard yourself recite that mantra. 3-word mantra. All I want is, and then you justify yourself. I'm not asking for much. All I want is, in other words, look, you demon, why don't you give me what I want? All I want is, and you pat yourself on the back. Oh, I'm not asking for much. All I want is. In other words, why are you so miserly? Why are you such a kripana when you can't give me sufficient quantities of what I want? Isn't that what life is all about? So what is the nature of this disease of imitating Krishna? It's based on the misconception that we can be primary enjoyers, when the reality is, as part and parcel of Krishna, first Krishna enjoys, and then secondarily we enjoy. The common example, when you're taking prasad, you bring the prasad to the mouth, and the whole body is nourished. And then, secondarily, the hand that brought the prasad to the mouth is nourished. But you know the example. If the hand tries to relish the prasad on its own, pick up the samosa and squeeze it in the palm and try to absorb it through the palm, it's not going to work. The hand is the secondary enjoyer. First, the hand brings the food to the mouth. The food goes to the stomach and the whole body is energized. So that is reality for our existence in terms of satisfaction. We bring the enjoyment to Krishna, and then automatically, naturally, organically, we are satisfied. Krishna has infinite desires. We don't know what that's like. At outreach events, I often ask the people, count your desires. How many can you have? And they generally can't get past 10. I want to be happy. I want money. I want a nice relationship. I want a big house. You're up to about 5. Okay, obedient children. You're up to 6. And then you start thinking on a broader scale. World peace. Pure environment, no ecological problems. You're pushing it. You can't get past 10. But Krishna has infinite desires. You can't imagine what that's like to have infinite desires. We say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he has the Shadaishvarya, the 6 opulences unlimitedly. Wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, renunciation, beauty. Each one, each category, infinite. And you can also explain Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead in another way, that he has infinite desires. And this is called Swaraja Lakshmi by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Swaraja Lakshmi means Krishna has infinite desires and the unlimited and independent ability to satisfy each one of his infinite desires. Hearing that, all you can say is, Hare Krishna. Infinite desires and the infinite ability to independently satisfy every one of those infinite desires? That is Krishna. Once you understand Krishna, then you can see what we're trying to imitate. We want to be that independent enjoyer, self-reliant. But you may notice the way the material world, the shadow potency, the way it's conducted is that every time you try to enjoy, you have to depend on something outside of yourself. What's the weather going to be like? What's my partner's mood today? What are the financial markets? Every time you want some satisfaction, you're taking a risk because you have to depend on things outside of you. But Krishna never takes such a risk because everything is his energy. He never goes outside of himself to enjoy. He's so perfect and complete that he can arrange that sometimes he laments. Oh, where's my dear consort? Why is she not talking to me? He has everything. And so he also has lamentation of, I'm brokenhearted. She's angry at me. That's part of Krishna's completeness. He has everything, so why not have that too? My dear, please, put your lotus feet on my head so the lac on the bottoms of your lotus feet will be imprinted on my forehead and you'll forgive me. But Krishna can also act the other way. He can neglect his consort. Spend time with someone else. He's perfect and complete. So complete that he has limited parts and parcels. Otherwise, how can the Supreme Lord be Purnam and be complete if he lacks parts? So part of being unlimited is to also have limited. And we are the limited. But we refuse in conditioned life to accept that status. We want to be running our own business, rivaling, imitating Krishna. We'll let Krishna go on with his affairs. Yes, do your rasa dance, do your thing. But we want ours, and that is anger. So Brahma, in charge of the cosmic manifestation, has something for everyone. As we explained yesterday, he's made, as secondary creator, he's made a universe that has something for everyone according to your desire and qualification. So for the demons, they want to enjoy ignorance, so Brahma casts off that body. That's what we're hearing in this verse. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow. He's casting off various mentalities, not that he's giving up his body, as the Acharyas explained. His lifetime is 100 years of Brahma's time. That's 311 trillion years. So he's not giving up his body, he's giving off mentalities. Okay, demons, you want ignorance, take this and go for it. So the more we understand that our future is in our hands and we make the right choice to go to the right place, to be at the right place, the more we can see, yes, our independence is very tiny, but it is there. So everyone has different amounts of material and spiritual desires, and so this universe has a place for you. For those who don't want to have any more desires and are begging for the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, please, no more material desires. There's a place for that also, but it's not within this material cosmic manifestation. Of course, the mystery of bhakti is that the more we're absorbed in pure devotional service, the more we realize I already have the spiritual world. That is one of the deep mysteries of Srimad Bhagavatam. All right, any questions? Yes.
Thank you for the class, Maharaj. How do we understand that even for us as aspiring devotees, if we have a circle and Krishna is there, Krishna is there in that circle, but he's not in the center. So how do we recognize that, okay, I'm thinking I'm okay, I have Krishna in the picture, but he's not in the center?
We all become like whom we associate with. You want Krishna more in the center of your life? Associate with those who have Krishna in the center of their life more. Because these days we're happy if Krishna is just on the periphery of your life. All glories. But you can do much better than that. We can do much better than that. So if you want more Krishna, associate with those who are getting more Krishna. Simple as that. You become like whom you associate with. And in this way, by associating with those who have Krishna more intensely, you'll become infected with that desire. More Krishna, more Krishna. There's never too much Krishna. And if you associate with those who, you don't have to be so enthusiastic, A little bit of Krishna, a little bit of Byron beach culture, Balanced life, some Maya, some Krishna. Because if you don't enjoy enough now, you'll regret it when you're older. So better to become spiritually serious when you're older. When you get over material existence, but you never get over it. So you become like whom you associate with. You want more Krishna? Associate with those who are getting more Krishna. Doesn't mean you disrespect everyone else. Oh, you're in Maya. I am a devotee. I am super enthusiastic. We respect everyone who's just vibrating Hare Krishna. As Lord Chaitanya said, how do you know who's the best among human beings? The one who once says Krishna. He or she is the best among human beings. But you associate, you reveal your mind to those who are focused on pleasing Krishna. Everyone else you respect. Even their behavior may not be up to the proper standard, at least you respect them, but you don't reveal your mind to them. Hey, what's it like being in Maya? Can you give me some tips? I'm thinking of getting into it myself. Anything else? Yes.
You spoke about the scientist, very bleak, nothing before, nothing after this
Materialistic scientist.
Materialistic scientist. And there's this question about existentialism, like what's the point of it all? Lord Krishna is self-sufficient. He doesn't need us. And
he doesn't need you, but he wants you.
Yes.
Reminds me of what? Well, no, I won't use that example. Go on.
It's basically that. We are obviously incomplete without him. It's pretty miserable out here. Very difficult to get back to him. As you were saying, Lord Brahma, he had to do how many 100 births of perfect Brahminical standard just to be
100.
100. Just to be that close.
It's easier to go back to Godhead than to be Brahma.
Okay, that's better. Okay, there's some hope.
Yes, it's complete hope. That's why we have Chaitanya Nitai. Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai. Sujata Vishvashakore. Otherwise, yes, Krishna is very strict, but you're forgetting about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Otherwise, we have no reason to be in anywhere near bhakti without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. I remember Prabhupada in Atlanta. I was sitting right in front of him, and he was starting his lectures by not chanting Jai Radha Madhava, but by chanting Parama Karuna Bahundvi Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra. And then he started his lecture. Shortest lecture he ever gave, 1.5 minutes. He started talking about Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. They're so kind. They're giving love of Krishna to even people who don't know who is Krishna. Just take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be happy. All of a sudden, I was right in front of him. The tears shot from his eyes like from a syringe. His voice started cracking. He ended the lecture without a word, got off and went to his room and never spoke about it again. I never forgot that. Lord Chaitanya is so kind. He's giving love of Krishna to people who don't even know who is Krishna. You have to think about that and apply it to your life. Yes.
Thanks for class, Maharaj. I'm just thinking those 5 types of ignorance that Lord Brahma has created, cast off. So is that there to entrap the unwary, or is it just for those people in that sort of lower modes to enjoy? How to understand that ignorance?
Yes, he cast off that shadow, as you'll find out 2 verses later, in the form of nighttime. And the yakshas and rakshasas jumped on it. He provided facility for them. But now that those coverings of ignorance they're covering everyone. It's the standard, it's the norm. So Brahma casts that shadow off, and then later he'll give something for the devatas, for the demigods.
So I guess there's some relationship between nighttime and ignorance then.
Yes. In Kali Yuga, what do people say? The nighttime is the right time. That's when they come to life. Whereas for devotees, nighttime is for resting, so you can serve Krishna during the day. So yes, you'll find all this out in the coming verses. You'll probably be speaking on one of them. All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.